Hey, what's happening, guys? This is Stingness from ProLogad, and today we're going to be taking a look at Olaf. But before we do, I want to tell you that I am a freaking idiot because I've recorded this 3 times now, and my mic's been muted 2 of them. And if it doesn't work this time, I mean, if my mic's... I'm actually checking right now. Okay, it's not muted, so we're good to go. Anyways, alright. Jumping in, we're gonna go ahead and let's get into Olaf. Olaf is probably one of the better junglers in the game right now because he has an AoE slow, he can farm lanes really easily, and he's immune to CC. So, what's not to love? He's great at focusing carries, he's just great. Alright, so let's jump right into Olaf's abilities. His passive is good, and it's noticeable. For every percentage of health you're missing, you will gain that percentage in attack speed. So if you're missing 50% health, you gain 50% attack speed. It's great for staying in the jungle and tricking people into thinking they can fight you. When you get low, you just rape them. His Q ability is his main ability. It's a massive AoE skill shot, slow. It has a really low cooldown if you pick up the axe constantly. And this is going to be what really determines how good you are at Olaf. Like how you can aim this ability so you pick it back up. You're going to want to level this ability first because it's the best ability. Olaf's W gives him extra lifesteal and spell vamp. It's great for jungling and staying in a lane, but besides that, the damage doesn't scale very well with leveling it up, so I like to get a point in level 2 to give me the lifesteal for the jungle, but I don't level it up after that because it doesn't scale well. Olaf's E is pretty basic, but it's highly effective. It's just a regular true damage nuke. I level it up second because true damage is very effective from level 11 to 15 because no one's stacking health at that point, and 300 plus nuke of true damage really just kills carries almost instantly. Olaf's ultimate gives him increased armor pen and makes him immune to all disabilities. That's like a disease or something. Down syndrome. It makes him immune to all disables, not disabilities. Like blinds, fears, stuns, those kind of things. He's immune to all of them. Slows. It makes him immune to every single CC. Besides silence. I'm not sure if he can still be silenced. I feel like I've been silenced several times while ultimated, but that could have just been me not paying attention to my ultimate duration. But I'm pretty sure he can be silenced. Alright, so let's go over his runes, masteries, and summoner spells. For runes, you're going to want to pick up as much armor pen as possible. Why? Because it scales retardedly well with his ultimate. His ultimate gives him increased armor pen, so you get increased armor pen if you're ruined into armor pen, which is great. It makes like pretty much all your abilities true damage, so you're going to want armor pen reds and armor pen quints. And for yellows and blues, for yellows I use flat armor yellows to give me a little bit more survivability in the jungle and in lanes, and for blues I use flat magic resist blues to give me more survivability. You're a melee character, you're going to be in the middle of the enemy team when you're fighting. You need the runes to keep you alive. As for masteries, I go 1, 8, 21. We are grabbing 21 utility because the utility tree is just too good. If your character can get away with going 21 utility, you should go 21 utility because it's just too good. You've got increased buff duration, increased gold, increased movement speed, cooldown reduction, summoner spell cooldown reduction. It's too good to ignore. You're gonna grab 8 points in the defensive tree instead of 9 because at 9 there's nothing really in the defensive tree that you're just like, ooh, that's great for 9 points. So just 8, and you'll let you get the 1 point in improved smite. For summoner spells, of course, you're using smite because you're jungling. There's no option. You're jungling. You're using smite. That's the rules of the game right now. And your second one is ghost. Why ghost and not flash? Ghost, I feel, is better for Olaf because when you're ghosting and immune to CC, you travel distance much faster. I mean, you could flash in, but then if they flash, they get away. But I don't know. I just like Ghost better. Ghosting after a carry in the team fight is just too good. It's great. So I like Ghost over Flash. If you could not play without Flash, I guess you can get Flash, but I really feel Ghost is the right way to go. Let's go ahead and jump to this game now. You're going to want to start off with cloth armor and 5 health potions because you're jungling. Olaf's fastest jungle route is to start at blue. Have your allies guard you and have them leash the golem for you. If you don't have them leash the golem for you, you will not be able to do red when you get there because you'll have taken extra damage. You're going to go from blue golem to the wolf camp, to the wraith camp, to red lizard if you got a leash. If you did not get a leash, don't go to lizard, just go straight to the golem camp. And then after lizard, go to golem camp, and then recall, and then gank. That's the jungle route, and you're going to want to prioritize using your W over your Q. You're going to be low on mana the whole time from spamming your Q, but make sure whenever your W is off cooldown, you have enough mana to use it, because lifesteal and spell vamp will give you the ability to stay in the jungle and keep your jungle going. Like if you prioritize your Q over your W, you will not be able to do lizard when you get to lizard. So your role as a jungler is to gank, of course, to just not really. I phrased that wrong. Your role as a jungler is to really just do lane control. Just gank every overextended lane. Gank people who are having problems. If a lane you know you can't get a kill on them, but they're giving your lane a problem, just go ahead and try to gank it anyways, even though the kill probably won't happen. You'll push the enemies back and make them play a little bit more cautious, which will give your lane breathing room, and they'll be able to, you know, not completely fail and at least get a little bit of minion kills. So, as you go back, you're gonna want to try to get your the first back after you complete your jungle. You're gonna want to grab your boots and maybe a ward for dragon. The first item you're gonna build after boots is Wriggle's Lantern, and then Merc Treads, and then Frozen Mallet. The last 3 item slots are really just you're gonna build tank items, you know, like Force of Nature or Banshee's Veil or Warmogs or those type of things. I can't really tell you exactly what to build because it's gonna be different for every game. But if you honestly are brand new to this game and you have no idea what to get, a pretty solid build for Olaf would be Wriggles, Merc Treads, Frozen Mallet, Warmogs, Atma's Impaler, and Banshee Veil. Something along those lines. But the core items you should always get in every single game are Merc Treads, Wriggle Lantern, and Frozen Mallet. So make sure you pick those up. They're important and they're great. Alright, we've gotten the basics out of the way, so let's go over how to throw Olaf's Q ability. You're going to want to throw it so you always hit your target, for one, because it's a skill shot, you always want to hit your target. But you don't want to throw it too far. Like, if your opponent is running diagonally and you have to throw it, try to throw it exactly on them so you can pick it up while you chase them. And of course, when you're chasing, throw it through them so you pick it up while you're chasing them. You have to be aware that there is a cast time on this ability, although it's really short. It makes it really easy for them to dodge. Oh, and it actually makes it harder to like throw it at max range. You'll get used to it the more you play Olaf, but just you got to keep it in mind that it's there. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Pretty much just make sure you can always pick up your axe back up when chasing enemies and in team fights, because it's your main source of damage and it's a great slow, and you want it on a no cooldown because it's amazing. Now when you go into a team fight, your main job on the team fight is not to peel for your carries, it's not to soak up damage like you're some sort of crazy tank. Your job is to literally ignore everybody in the entire team fight and focus the enemy carry. Just run at them and kill them. Just kill them. Fuck it. Don't even care. You got an Amumu about to ult, just smack your arm, just keep going at that carry. You want that carry to be pushed out of the team fight so they can't damage your team, and then your team will obviously win because you'll have your carries and they won't have their carries because you're pushing their carries out of the fight. And that's really all it is. Your true damage will rip through carries since they don't typically build a lot of health, and your slow will keep you up with them, along with Frozen Mallet and Lizard buff. Now, of course, use your Q to peel for allies when needed. If they're going to die and you're the only one who can save them, it's better to peel for your allies unless you have a choice to save your feeding ally or kill their super fed super carry. Then you're going to want to kill their super fed super carry. But typically you're going to want to save your ally. And you can use your R to tank CC for your allies. Don't be afraid to block a bandage toss with your ultimate because it's going to kill your ally if they get stunned. Don't be afraid to do it. Just man up and take it like a man. It's better that you die than your carry dies. Just keep that in mind. Another important thing about Olaf is using his Q to farm. He is probably the only character, the only jungler in the game that can really just clear a wave as if he was a mage. Like, he can just run up, Q, throw through Qs, everything, run, pick it up, and Q again, and the entire lane's cleared. You gotta take advantage of that and clear side lanes when needed. And that's the end of my guide. If it helped, go ahead and leave a comment. If it didn't help, go ahead and tell me I suck. If you want to see some Olaf gameplay, I'll go ahead and link some in the description. I'll make it and then link it. If you'd like a text version of the guide, there's one on LeagueCraft. There will be a link to that in the description also. And if you would like to add me in game, go for it. This wasn't scripted. If you guys couldn't tell, I didn't script this guide. I normally write down a script and read it and do it all for these guides, but I got a couple of complaints that I was reading too fast, or it was just they didn't like the way how I was reading it, or you know, that I was scripted and just didn't like that. So I tried to do it non-scripted, and you guys just tell me what you think. Tell me if you would prefer it to be scripted or non-scripted for my next guide, which I'm leaning towards either Jarvan or 80 Twisted Fate. I haven't decided yet, but just tell me what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.